From Monkey to Man, the Evolution of Humanity. What are we is a question that has been asked since time immemorial. In ancient Greece, Plato once said that a man is a featherless biped. In rebuttal to his statement, Diogenes brought in a plucked chicken and proclaimed, "Here is Plato's man." Plato's statement was, however, not wrong, just not specific enough. But now, with decades of scientific discovery and grueling work piecing together our story, we have a blurry picture that leaves a lot of questions to be asked. But we know what we are now. We are primates. Primates are a family of mammals that are 55 million years old. The primates include the New and Old World monkeys and the lesser and greater apes. We, as humans, are great apes, alongside chimps, bonobos, gorillas, and orangutans. The monkeys evolved first from small squirrel-like ancestors that can be broken up into two categories: the prosimians and the simians. The prosimians are more basal than simians, and after the rise of the simians mostly went extinct, while a group of simian monkeys evolved into the first true apes. Apes first evolved 23 million years ago, with their oldest representative being a missing link proto-ape called Proconsul. And not long after Proconsul's evolution, they soon exploded into diversity. The great apes or Hominidae are a tribe of primates that diverged from their lesser cousins around 20 million years ago. The earliest hominid to evolve was Sahelanthropus from nearly 7 million years ago in Africa, who diverged from our chimp-like cousins and eventually sired Ardipithecus. Walking upright is a defining human feature that has forced our bodies to change drastically from our more basal relatives. We have squatter, more bowl-shaped pelvic bones and thicker thighs, less hand-like, more compact feet than our ancestors. Our ancestors began to regularly walk upright around 7 million years ago, which can be seen in the placement of the foramen magnum opening in the skull in Sahelanthropus tuchadensis. Around 4 million years ago, further specialization towards upright walking occurred in our leg bones, our pelvic bones, our feet, and our spine, which freed up our hands for further specialization. The Australopithecines are the middle children of our ancestors, holding a unique combination of basal and derived features. They had long walking legs and a more bowl-shaped pelvis than their progenitors, with feet built for long-distance walking rather than grasping, but arms and shoulder girdles designed for an animal that spends much of its life in the trees. They are amongst the most well-known and commonly found of our ancestors, with over 300 pieces of fossil evidence being found from them, including several incredibly important finds like the Tong Child or Lucy. Tool-making and humans are two things that go together closely, but haven't always been together. The oldest tools we have evidence of came from sediments dated to 3.3 million years ago, from Lake Turkana. These tools varied from stone hammers and anvils to sharp cutting flakes. These tools were made to break bones and shear flesh from scavenged carcasses. Fire is a critical part of our history. It has changed us in the ways few things have, and is one of the major contributing factors to our domination of the world. Fire is a surprisingly recent innovation in the story of our ancestors, with the oldest evidence of it being from Kubi Forum, a site which dates back to 1.5 million years ago. We don't know who made these fires, but Homo erectus and Paranthropus boisei are suspected due to the fact that they come from the same age as the burned clay spots, and fragments of Paranthropus boisei fossils have been found nearby to the site. The human brain is unique amongst the animal world for being one of the most advanced and powerful. The brain in our family of apes has been constantly getting bigger, but never in any substantial manner until around 800,000 years ago, with Homo erectus and Homo heidelbergensis suddenly jumping in brain size. Why this happened is thought to coincide with our ancestors' increased consumption of meat, then our usage of fire to cook the meat, which helps free up more energy to allow for brain growth. Homo erectus is the first of our ancestors to leave Africa, but only managed to colonize the less harsh and more temperate Asia, rather than the unforgivingly cold Europe. Homo heidelbergensis managed to leave Africa later, and soon colonized both Asia and Europe with the help of expanded fire use and the invention of artificial shelters. Humans finally left Africa around 70,000 years ago and made it into Asia 65,000 years ago. Others traveled to Europe and made it there 45,000 years ago, then eventually into North America around 16,000 years ago and South America 14,000 years ago, completing our domination of the world. We are alone on Earth. All of our relatives have long been driven into extinction for reasons beyond our own comprehension. Even though our genus coexists with at least 3 other members, the Neanderthals went extinct around 40,000 years ago, around the same time we entered Europe. Why this is, we don't know exactly. The more primitive Homo floresiensis lived on an island in Indonesia, went extinct around 50,000 years ago. Though we don't know exactly why, the key suspect in this case is a volcanic eruption. The Denisovans, the most mysterious member of our group, we don't really know much about them. They never left much behind. We do have a wealth of genetic evidence of them. We don't know when they went extinct. We are not the pinnacle of evolution. Nowhere near, in fact. What we are a very specialized group of animals who happen to get very lucky that the world got very empty very fast for no apparent reason. We exist in a very careful balance of power and peace. More likely than not, we are to wipe ourselves out than anything else. So we must be very careful with what we have. In conclusion, man has always questioned his origins. Science has proven that we are apes, alongside gorillas, chimps, and orangutans. The apes evolved from simian monkeys. The use of fire and tools were significant in our evolution. Homo sapiens are the last surviving of our kind on Earth, and we run the risk constantly of driving ourselves extinct.